Let me ask you something. How can you build wealth while you're paying interest on everything that you buy? Because that's exactly what most people are doing. They're putting money into a 401k every single pay period, monthly, bi-weekly, maybe it's weekly, while at the same time they're paying interest on credit cards, paying interest on car loans, paying interest on student loans, and paying interest on their personal debt. So the real question isn't, how do I invest better? The real question is, why are we trying to build wealth while we're financing debt and giving our money away at the same time? So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna show you something inside of most 401k plans that I would say most people completely overlook. And this thing they overlook can completely change the flow of your money. But before we get into that, we need to talk about the real problem, because it's not what most people think. Most people make the problem out to be something that isn't really the problem. So let's dive in. Most people believe the biggest challenge to building wealth is the stock market, okay, or the market that they invest in. They worry about the market going up, they worry about it going down, are we headed into a recession? But most times, the market usually isn't the real problem. The real problem is the cash flow leakage. Think of it as a hole in your boat. That's what's sinking the ship. So let me show you what I mean by this. As you can see here by these columns, the left side, we're gonna put your savings, your 401k contributions, and we'll also include the employer match. And let's throw your investments in. On the right side, you got your car payments, your credit card payments, your student loan payments, your personal loan payments, and just add whatever you want. Now, let me ask you one simple question. How many people are saving money while bleeding money at the exact same time? Because that's exactly what's happening in most households. They're putting money into retirement and investments while thousands of dollars every year are leaving their financial system through interest payments to someone else's bank. And if that feels backwards, it's because it is backwards. And here's where it gets really interesting. Most people are following a financial plan or a financial system that they never really questioned, and they never asked, why should I do this? It looks something like this. You go get a job. You open a bank account. You start contributing to the 401k because you need tax deductions and you want the match. And when you need money, what do? You go to the bank where you deposited money and you borrow it. You borrow it for cars, for emergencies, for big purchases, and every single time that happens, interest leaves your system month by month, year after year. Now, here's the really interesting part, or at least I think it's interesting. Most people are working incredibly hard, and they're working hard to save more money, but they're losing wealth through their payment system that they think that is the right way to do it. And that's the part nobody's talking about. But what if I told you there's something inside most 401k plans that can change this dramatically? Now, here's something I know. Most people, yourself included, are working incredibly hard to save more money and invest more money. But at the same time, most people are losing wealth through the exact payment system they subscribe to. And then there's this thing that nobody talks about, and that is something that's found in most 401k plans, and that could change this entire system dramatically. You see, most people believe that their 401k is completely locked up. They think that once the money goes into it, it's untouchable until retirement, or at least 59 and a half, quote unquote, retirement age. But many plans include something called a loan provision. This is a provision that allows you to borrow money from your own 401k balance, not from the bank, not from your own account. Now, here's the thing. When you repay that loan, the interest you repay, because you will pay interest for that loan, goes back into your account. Now, pause for a second. Now, I think it'd be easy if I just kind of put this up on the screen and draw this. So when you take a loan from the 401k, they're going to charge you interest. Now, call it 6, 7, 8%, whatever your plan administrator charges for the loan. You take that money out of your 401k, which also means it came out of the market. Now, when you repay that loan, how it's gonna happen is it's gonna come out of your paycheck. And yes, you're gonna see it as loan repayment. You get to pick some of the terms, like you could do it for 36 months, 48 months, maybe 60 months. But the interest that you're repaying, remember I said, it goes back into your 401k. So this is like guaranteeing yourself an interest rate. That's right. So if it's 8% interest that your 401k charges you to take a loan, when you repay it, you're repaying principal and interest, and that 8% interest is going back into your account. So that really truly is a guaranteed interest rate. Now, the thing we haven't talked about is what did you use the loan for? Now, if you use the loan to pay off high interest credit cards, pay off your car, pay off your personal loans, and you recaptured that exact payment you used to make to the credit cards, the car loan payment place, and your personal loans, yeah, you can start adding this up. You're not just repaying yourself the interest that they're charging on the loan, you're repaying yourself the interest plus the interest you were giving away. This is how you're winning. Now, I know that was a lot to unpack. Let's pause for a second because I need you to think about that. Because if you're already paying interest, the real question becomes, who are you paying it to? Now, most interest you're paying it to the bank. Or are you now, in this scenario, paying it to yourself? See, that's the fun part. And this is where the shift happens. So let's walk through a simple example now that you kind of understand this. Let's say someone has a $25,000 credit card debt and the interest rate's 20%. That means that every year you're paying roughly $5,000 in interest to that credit card company. Now imagine you got $40,000 in your 401k. If your plan allows for you to take loans, you could take a loan out to eliminate that credit card balance. And remember, if that credit card was 20%, remember this. Now, instead of paying 20% interest to the bank or the credit card company, you're repaying that 20% back in the form of loan payments back to your own account, your 401k. We could even call it your 401k bank. But here's the real win. It's not just the interest, it's the cash flow. Because that monthly credit card payment, it's gone. And now that money can be redirected to paying your 401k loan faster. So you could do it two different ways. You could either take the amount you were paying the credit card and you could just call that the amount you're paying back, or you could do the loan repayment you set up with the 401k plus the amount you were given the credit card. That's completely up to you and your cash flow. But the important thing, and the thing I want you to understand, is the bank is not controlling your money anymore. You control the direction of your money flowing. Now, let me show you how this looks structurally. And just take a look at the screen here. You make income, that income goes into the bank. Then from the bank, you make interest payments on your debts. Now, after you do this, okay, your income goes to you, and then it goes from you to your retirement account. You didn't create new money. You simply changed the direction of the flow. And when that happens, the velocity increases. Money starts cycling inside your system, i.e. your 401k, and instead of constantly leaving you, it is staying with you. And this is where most people realize that huge psychological shift. Most people think that becoming debt-free is the finish line, but it is not. Don't believe the lie. Debt-free is actually the starting line, because when you're debt-free, you're still at zero. Because once those payments that you used to make disappear, your lifestyle is about to adjust. Your cash flow is already structured. So instead of sending those payments to the lenders, you can redirect them to rebuilding your wealth system. And suddenly, your savings rate increases dramatically, but you didn't have to work harder, longer, or take on any risk. It's because you found a better way. That's it. You just fixed the leaks that were in your financial system. Now, what we just talked about is really phase one. Phase one is the restructuring, using the tools you already have to fix the flow of money, to plug the holes, to stop the leaks. But then there's phase two, and this is simplifying. You see, most people choose to contribute to their 401k because it's easy, but I would suggest you do that only up to the employer match. Because think about it, the employer match, it's sort of free money after the vesting period, right? But then there's phase three. And this is where things really start to change, because just with your 401k, we start thinking about how to be the bank, how to control our money. And this is where people can start building systems that give them liquidity and control well into the future, not relying on 401ks. Systems where money grows and it can still be used when opportunities arise. Okay, in other words, systems where you start acting like the bank instead of the borrower. So let's just recap real quick. Most people try to invest their way to financial freedom, and they take on a lot of risk doing that and ride a lot of roller coasters doing it as well. But very few people ever restructure their money first. And when you understand how money actually flows, you realize something important. The problem usually isn't the income. The problem is the direction in which you're directing your income. So once the flow of money changes, everything else starts to move faster. They just call that velocity, and that's all you're doing. You're controlling your money and the velocity of your money. Listen, if this video helped you understand money a little differently, I want to make sure that you help me out a little bit because I'm providing value. I need you to click that subscribe button right there. And then there's this little bell up top. What I need you to do is I need you to smash that bell. Yeah, that little right jab. Hit that bell so you're notified every single time I put out new content, because all the content is going to show you how to take back control of your money. Let's dive back in. If you're watching this thinking, okay, that sort of makes sense. The visuals helped a little bit, Chris, but how do I actually apply this to my situation? That's exactly what my team helps people do each and every single day. So what you can do is you can book a call with my team, one of our money mentors, and there's a link right there below. What they're gonna do is they're gonna walk you through your financial system. You're gonna identify where the money leakages are. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how you can use strategies, just like I showed you with the 401k or the infinite banking concept, and how they can work in your life. You see, I wanna help you solve your money problem, but the only way I can help you do that is if you get on the call with the team. And if you liked this video, you're gonna wanna check this one out right there. Secrets of the Rich. This is gonna break down exactly what the wealthy do and teach you how you can become your own bank.